Hello everyone. We had our first graduate level fully online course as a collaboration of QWorld and University of Latvia, where I am also working. Okay. So it was a long semester for both of the students, also for us. We start somewhere between August and now is 1st of March, and we are just managing the last session, closing session. Under QWorld, we already doing a lot of workshops, a lot of some other events also, internship programs, etc. And then finally, we also decided to offer a full course, fully course. In my university, I already designed a course for PhD level students. And it's basically based on the tutorials developed under QWorld. We call it bronze and silver. And also Gibran had some interest to make it like open, let's say globally. A course started in University of Latvia, then under QWorld we decided to make it open. There were also some initiative in Europe, Q2Edu. They also want to do some pilot program. We also tried to connect with it, but we were a little ahead of them because they started their program a little later. So we start in September our course. So this course was fully online, and its level was graduate level, even though most of the students master level or undergrad. Maybe also this is because it's a little challenging for them. By the way, you can ask your questions in chat whenever you have a questions, because there will be several parts, so maybe it's better to ask immediately if you have some questions. The course load was quite heavy. It's 150 around academic hours. It has two phases, lecture phases and term projects. Basically, 2/3 part is like for lecture and 1/3 is for the term project. Also from lecture phase, student collected 70 points, and from term project, they collected 30 points. And also with thanks again, Unitary Fund. This course is also supported by Unitary Fund. We made a very short announcement. We had some kind of 10 days because we barely also managed to make it ready. And we also opened this course officially for the students of my university. Also, Gibran locally had a course, and these students also officially get credits from their local course. But they attend fully this course. I mean, I will give some technical details also and some statistics and also some feedbacks. It will be kind of mixture because there are also many technical details. We did first time, we also learn a lot of, and also we want to share it. So basically we use Google Form for collecting the applications. For each applicant, we ask some proof. They are really in graduate studies or a support letter. If they are not graduate level students, we ask them somewhat some people, some academic people knowing them maybe support their applications because expectation was high. We know that the course would be tough. So we received almost, let's say, 400 applications. We accepted 270. And then we invited these 270 to our Discord server. And Discord server was our main place. Even if it was very short time, we ask in the feedback, all people say like application procedure was very clear and everything was fine. And then we had lecture phase. As I told, we use two tutorials of QWorld, bronze and silver. They are already being used for the workshops. Maybe some of you also attended some workshops. The number of workshops for bronze, I think it's almost 80. Silver last year born, and I think there are 4 or 5 silver organized until now. And in 10 weeks, we cover all these topics under bronze and silver. Usually each of them use like 5 days plus 5 days workshops. This time we kind of make it like 1 day load of a workshop here, like 1 week of the like work for the week. Here you see the list. Basically, we start very slowly from classical systems and then cover the quantum systems and then slowly quantum operators on the unit circle, for example, and then entanglement, basic protocols, and then quantum search algorithm. This is the topics of bronze, and there is no complex numbers here to keep it very simple. And then we switch to complex numbers, and then block sphere we introduce and quantum operations on block sphere, and then Fourier transform, phase estimation algorithm, and then lastly, the main topic, Shor's algorithm. So our tutorials are basically from Jupyter notebooks. They are providing like hands-on experience. There are some theory and then there are some programming tasks. You solve them. You read little theory and then again another task. So in this way, you are interacting with the content and going slowly through the all. And overall, when we check the feedback, our students examined both of the tutorials. Sorry, I was unmuted. Sorry, where was I? I'm sorry.
I don't think we heard anything since you switched screens.
Okay. I think here I was, yeah, tutorials. Okay. Maybe I can repeat. So both tutorials were studied by students. When we ask in feedback form, they find them very or mostly useful, but they had suggestions on the silver part. We also agreed to this because silver is younger than bronze, and hopefully before next edition, it will be revised, let's say, significantly. So we had weekly online lectures on Mondays. It's usually took between 60 to 90 minutes. We use Zoom meetings for it. And also we use like tablet like this pen to write on it and Microsoft program like OneNote, and it worked quite good in this way. At the beginning, we had like start with 100 students, but the number decreased towards the end because people also had opportunity to watch it later. So we upload notes later as a PDF to the Google Drive, and then recordings to YouTube. So when it is online, really we are using many different tools, also many different platforms. We also had lab sessions. At the beginning, we start with 4 lab sessions, like 1 hour per day. Later, we switched to like 2 90 minutes sessions. And these lab sessions run by the student assistants. We had 4 student assistants. And basically, they pick some topics from the notebooks and they just cover it just to give, because the online lectures, more generic theory, they didn't like exactly the content in the notebooks, in the tutorials. This is why student assistants also cover some topics from the notebooks. Besides that, we had Q webinars on Thursday. Almost every Thursday we have a talk. Gibran managed all these talks. We had, I think, 1 network event I remember now. Maybe it was 2. Also, we had a couple of question answer sessions by student assistants or by us. And we had regular announcements on Discord. I think most of you now familiar with Discord. It was quite great tool also for communications, even it's suitable to execute online class. At least we tested. Of course, you have several categories to operate better. There are always some internal channels. There are some welcoming channels. You can ask to accept some code of contact before joining the Discord. This is also a very nice opportunity. Without accepting the codes, you may not see the rest of the server. So we have our channels, like as a instructor and team site. They were read only for the students in order not to like have long and lose the main announcements, etc. We just make our announcements or reminders there or put the schedule. And then there were channels for class. Students had several channels. They ask their questions there, depends on the topic. There were also some social channels. They share their like funny pictures or similar stuff. Also for the study groups, as I remember, we had at least one study group. They want to work together. We created some private channels. Also during term projects for groups, if they ask, we create some private channels. So overall, Discord looks, I mean, sufficient. How we evaluated, it's also one of the main part. Okay, thanks, Sarah. See you in some next meetings. So we use Canvas as the learning management system. We install one free version to our own server. So we had basically 9 weeks of lectures. 1 week we just have a break before the shorts algorithm, and we gave a bonus exam there. For each week from this 9 weeks of lectures, there were 2 self-study quizzes. Each has 10 questions. They can attempt multiple times to them. And they are kind of preparing the main online exam. And for each week, we had one online exam. And it was from 10 questions, 60 minutes, and it was the single attempt. Here you see the statistics. So overall average is 63. I think it's quite normal, normal for a normal course, let me say. Average time is also kind of 3.4 of the 60 minutes. So I think more or less statistics show that the given time, the scores looks like a regular course. Students, of course, start close to 200, but at the end, 100 students managed to complete. And we also had one bonus exam, exactly for shorts algorithm. We want to watch them some videos to prepare them shorts algorithm, and we ask some questions based on these videos. It was extra, and some students did, some students skip it. So it is online. There could be many technical issues, etc. This is why from the beginning we say that, okay, your lowest score will be discarded. I mean, don't worry if you missed some exam because of some reasons, etc. I think it's also worked fine. So overall, we discard the lowest score, then we take the average over 8 exams, and also we add the bonus. So if they really follow the course, then there were good chances to get high degree. We also put a threshold. If they get 42, let's say, out of 100, they would be able to get a certificate and also proceed for the project phase. And at the end, 100 students finished the lecture phase. Here are statistics. We had students from 25 countries. These are the statistics for completed one. You see here like 50% only PhD, 35% master, and 45, almost half was the undergrad. I think for undergrad it was a little heavy, but they managed anyway. I'm sorry. Because we we thought at the beginning even 50 would be success, and at the end it was 100. So mostly from physics and computer science, and some of them from engineering. We also had some students from economics, from math, and some other branches. Here you see the countries. In all our events, usually India have the big portion, but this time we also had a lot of students from Pakistan. This is also, I think, because of Gibran's student. And then we had students, as you see, 6 students from Poland, USA, Turkey, and 5 from Latvia and Iran. And then, let's say, less people from different parts of the world. Kind of, we had people from each continent. And here you see the ratio of males and female. In our workshops also, usually average number of women, let's say between 25 and 30%. We hope that it would also increase. The age also, we had people from 19 years old, also 61 years old. Indeed, we have 7 students. They are like 39 and older. So that means there is an interest from every age to such a course. So this is very, very nice. I mean, there is no age limitation to learn the quantum computing. We also asked them how much time did they spend. Here you see the statistics. On average, it seems like people spend 6 hours per week. We also ask how much indeed you should spend. Indeed, we can also shift by 2 hours. On average, people say like 8 hours. For example, some people spend 3-4 hours, but nobody said how much it should be. It really starts from 5-6 hours. And when you calculate it, we're overall expected like this 160 hours. This 6 hours and 7 hours fit quite perfectly there. We also ask about assessment. Was it fair or not? This was quite positive. Had enough time to complete the homeworks. Mostly they say yes, but of course some people said more time for quizzes would be better. We also asked this, I mean, there were a lot of exams. Was it stressful? Mostly say no. But one suggestions overall, we didn't solve specifically the questions in the exams, but it seems it might be a good idea. We had the sessions to expect questions from students, but it seems also dedicated sessions can be also work. And we also asked some other questions. How was the pacing of the course? In general, our tutorials really slow down to teaching quantum computing. The topics we cover, usually people in standard courses, they cover much more quickly. We really make it slower and slower, but it seems still it's little fast. Half of the students said it's normal, but the other half kind of find it fast. For sequence and flow, it looks quite good. Basically, bronze, our first tutorial, starts slowly, but it seems silver also like week after week, probably topic by topic, there is a cumulative increasing. So silver also looks fast at the end. Also, we ask about did the course feel monotonous? Most of them, we had 8 answers, and they said no here. And we also ask what helped you most in the course. It seems each part of course somewhat helped to someone. I mean, some people said lectures and notebooks, some say tests and assignment, some said students' assistance, recordings, and some people also check other books and resources. So each component of the course looks like needed. We don't need to remove any of them. And we also ask if you compare similar courses, there is not too many courses, but maybe in other fields, machine learning, for example. What is missing, for example, in our case, basically they ask maybe more interaction, more networking. I think this is, we should work on it. Some people ask more theory. Some people already find hard the topic, but some really wants more theory. And also one comment about the projects phase, they are expecting more mentoring. We will also touch this topic again. And we also ask about their expectation, the difficulty of the course. Half say yes, it's difficult, and half said also more difficult than they expected. We also ask this online looks fine for them, it was effective. People are also positive, mainly because of flexibility. And we also ask, was it your knowledge and skills improved with this course? They say also yes. And we also ask, of course, some anything hindered your learning. They expected maybe this online quizzes should be published earlier. Usually we publish and give 1 week, and this usually we also publish it after the lecture phase, etc. So it seems people want it earlier, students want it earlier. This time we were late because each week we also prepare it, because we are giving the first time. So each week also 30 questions is really prepared, self-study questions and online quizzes. Probably next year it will be easier. For some people, of course, time difference is a matter because we have different people from different continents. And in general, I think less time, I mean, people had less time, students had less time. And this course is like time demanding. We ask also, did you attend like most of the online lectures? No. On the other hand, did you watch the recordings? Mostly yes. So even if they didn't watch exactly the online time, because in case of online, you would be able to ask also your questions. But on the other hand, they mostly watch it. A similar situation for labs as well. Only for labs, they watch later less than the online lectures. And they also mostly say yes. The following questions, like this online lectures and labs, you find it useful? They say yes. Interactions with lecturer and student assistants helpful? They say yes. Also, we ask them, do you feel comfortable to communicate with us, with all people in the Discord? There are also mentors, admin of Discord, etc. And they say mostly yes about this. Okay, after lecture phase finishing, we had a project phase. It's like 1 month long. We also experiment one idea between starting lecture phase and after finishing lecture phase and before starting the project phase. We put a quantum jam, and we thought maybe it like help the people to find some topics. But we noticed that people are already busy and they are also quite tired after lecture phase. They didn't have enough time for some extra activity, but still some students attend to our QJam because this quantum jam is also open to other people. And we had kind of half of our students, half of from external people. And some indeed continue the same or similar projects as a term projects, and some also, I mean, did some project in Quantum Jam, but pick another one for the term projects. But anyway, their contribution, we gave them to bonus, so they also got extra point for their term projects. So technically, we use a GitLab for management of the projects. We ask them to use an issue. They create an issue for their proposal, and then they submit everything about their project on this issue. And then they basically used markdown formatting. It's kind of text, and you give formatting very easily if you don't know it. So we received 55 project proposal. by more than 70 students. Some projects were individual, some were like as a group. We asked them after 2 weeks, it's kind of 4 weeks in total, a short midterm report. They must also create a repo and then just put their outcomes there. We also asked them to make it like some open source license. And at the end, they must prepare little detailed final report and also prepare presentations for recording. So at the end, more than 30 projects by more than 50 students completed. We put several deadlines. If they miss it, also penalties applied. So this is why even they submitted, some projects got grade 0. It was out of 30 and maximum also with bonuses, they got 36. We also asked them their spending time, how much they spent for the project. We expect some, let's say, between 30 and 50, and statistics also show it. And some people also really spent more than 40, and some people even more than 50 hours. You see the statistic here. And the duration, like this 1 month, received fine by the students. And for some, it was the first experience for such project. I mean, in announcement, we need to repeat some details many times. Probably they weren't familiar with such projects because of format or some other things. We need to remind them several times. But overall, the expectation seems clear to the students. But for some, it wasn't that clear. We always assume that it's a graduate level. So our expectation also kind of for graduate level, but we noticed that some maybe didn't have such experience. So we tried to compensate it with more remarks, but still it seems it wasn't so clear. And how they pick their projects, this our online talks looks like quite helpful. This weekly talks. And also we shared some resources on Discord, and there were also some discussions on Discord by students by themselves. All seems help them to pick some topic, because we didn't offer any topic. We expect them to find their own topic. This is also kind of standard for graduate level courses. And it seems they managed. And what wasn't the encouraging factors, for example, to propose a project or to complete it, especially people were interested in developing educational materials. Some really expect, to publish something. Some motivations are completing a quantum project. Some wants to apply some theory, and some just want to work on a real problems. And we also asked the discouraging factors. And they say, of course, they had the same time university exams. They didn't have enough time. Some couldn't find enough literature. Okay, there is a lot of interest to quantum, but still, I think literature is not that major for all level of people and students. And some also find people to be interested to form a group, but it wasn't possible. We also ask, did you satisfied with the project outcome? 75% say yes, and like 25, okay, yeah, so. One missing point, students really expected some knowledgeable mentors, but our capacity, we didn't have such capacity. Also for graduate level, sometimes you assume that they would manage by themselves. But it seems such option that they really needed to ask their questions or maybe motivate from that. But overall, the grading of projects they consider fair, and we ask also them to continue. 40% very positive, 30 say maybe, and some also say just no. We also ask about online tools. Whether they are useful, they were efficient, how their organization. Overall, they give positive answers, very good or good. If we put an order, Discord was the best and GitLab was, let's say, relatively worse. But I guess also many people maybe used first time GitHub or GitLab. And also, I mean, in Discord, you just join and everything is visible there. But for GitLab also, you need to something extra, some knowledge. This can be the reason. Also, we ask, I mean, we provide enough clear directions and people say yes. So that was good for us. We also ask some overall questions. I mean, they make many critics, they give many details, but overall, how would you rate overall course? And it was very positive. Half said excellent, 30% said very good, and 40% is good. And about the delivery of course, it seems the course overall is very good. Delivery, these numbers are a little less compared to design. So there is still room to improve. And we also ask, would you recommend? And it's also like 83% definitely. I guess our course is also kind of first course in this way, like fully online and fully doing all steps. Yeah, this can be also, I mean, it seems there is a huge demand for such courses. And we also ask, would you like take a similar course? And almost the same. The ratios are a little less, but still the same. We also ask, did you achieve like the overall learning goals? 45% say very, 31 said yes, and still around 20% say partially. We also ask how successful the outcomes compared to your expectation. Usually better than expected, they say, but some also say it was challenging or hard, but still happy. I mean, they are glad that they finish it, but it wasn't that easy. We also ask which courses would you like to see? We had, bronze, silver. People are curious in gold. Quantum machine learning, of course. Quantum error correction, of course. These are two most popular topics, and also some people interested in quantum hardware. Of course, we had also many dropouts, and these dropouts really throughout semester. Some didn't join the class, some joined but didn't start the class. And then each month, we had some dropouts. Some just dropped in September, some October, some even November, close to end. Somewhat they couldn't did the last finishing part. Also during project phase, they proposed something, but still they couldn't manage to complete it. And the main reason is not enough time. Probably one expectation is they spent less time, but at the end we didn't relax. I mean, if we say 150 hours, you must spend, usually they need to do this. If they did less, then their grade also probably is less. Because if you have less time, then of course you can watch maybe online lectures, but then you miss the lab. So every time something was missing, probably this is the main reason. Some other reasons, some technical, we put very sharp deadlines, almost no relaxation. If there are some fault from our side, we did some relaxation, but otherwise deadlines are sharp, but people, some at least, wasn't, let's say, comfortable with it. And also, we told before, maybe it's a little fast, even though our tutorials really try to make it slower. And it seems there are interests from different backgrounds, and people maybe really need even slower courses, not like immediately explaining theory, giving some complex mathematical formula, etc. Our quizzes like every week, some find this too short time. I mean, some expect maybe longer time. If we announce quiz today, maybe instead of 1 week, like 3 weeks something. Also one comments, they say lectures just were boring, like, and one also said not able to understand the instructor. So I am not native I can also, I mean, write for such a comment. Maybe, yeah, my accent or somewhat may not be easy to follow. And some suggestions when we ask, they say flexible deadlines and more time for quizzes and also for projects. And also maybe different grading system, maybe more relaxed system. Overall, students spent a lot of time, but you can be sure also our team also spent a lot of time. You see the names here. So Gibran was the coordinator of the course. He managed the applications. He also managed all these online. So I wasn't alone. I was just focused on the content, and the rest was done by the Gibran. And it was a clever strategy, I would say. And we also had 4 student assistants, Vishal, Kenneth, Razan, and Claudia. They also did great job. So I didn't worry about the lab. Many times I even didn't join the labs, and they just took the lead and managed it. For Canvas, we had Abdullah. It's good to have one people just focus on the Canvas. For Discord, we had 2 admins. They really did great job. I mean, then we didn't need to think many technical details. For marketing, we had Lorraine and Agnieszka. At the beginning, we had Özlem. Maybe some of already know her. She also organized our global summer school, the main person, like program director last year. Also during project evaluation, we prefer to make at least one project should be reviewed by 2 people. Then we had several people from our group and also Aurel, again from Q Education. He also helped our project evaluation. Okay, thank you. If you have some questions. Okay, quantum hardware course can be Q Platinum. Why not? It can be. So, any question? Maybe I can also stop the share. Okay, what is the next step course? We will have a project course. It will start this week. But basically, we open it to the ones who completed the projects. And it will be a small class this time. Okay, Jacek asked, how are you planning to approach the next session? You mean next edition of the same course, Jacek? Yes, probably we will do some modification. I mean, we ask this feedback, of course, see ourselves also how we can modify it. We hope that silver, like second part material, would be little better. We can revise it. For homeworks and self-study questions, I think we should do a little modification. Overall, it's fine, but still maybe people should feel more time, more relaxing time. And for project, we haven't discussed in details. We might make it lighten, let's say, because it's not possible to give feedback or mentoring several projects. Also, people from different background is coming. Maybe we can make it a little lighter, but I don't know. On the other hand, the one finishing project, it was a great experience. I noticed that some really did such project first time, and they really wrote many nice comments also. I mean, if there is an outcome, it's great, but also some were dropouts, so there is a trade-off. It's a good chance for some people doing their first quantum project. This is good. But on the other hand, we have some dropouts. Somewhat, yeah, we should find something in between. Some other question? Also from the team, they want to comment something. Mock style, I think. So in this course, we really reach people. I mean, this is, people also feel that this is a course, not like this mock style. I am sure there are mock style quantum computing and programming courses. Probably there will be more. Probably we will focus this, Ioannis. Probably we will focus how to make this more efficient, because this is kind of unique now. Being a complete course, I think there were some other courses also online, but I am not sure they had this project phase or something. Probably we will focus on this to improve further. But under QWorld, there might be, I don't know. We need people to do projects. So if we have more people, then there can be more offer.